It's fertilizing time, y'all. We got to get this work done. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I have been neglecting my plants. They are hungry, so we're going to fertilize them today. Hi everyone, my name is Kim and I live in Southwest Ohio. I am in zone 6 and it is the first day of June, and y'all, guess what? I haven't fertilized anything beyond the granular fertilizer that I started each of my plants with. And it's been so rainy and wet, I didn't want to come out here and do it. But today we are going to take care of that. I've been doing so much work and my garden is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I got flowers. I know Mama be happy about that. I have flowers everywhere. I got strawberries coming in. I finally put my warm season crops in and everything is the way I want it. It's perfection. And the last thing that we want to do is mess up that perfection because we didn't take care of our plants. Just like with you and I, we need nutrition, right, to survive. If we didn't eat, we would get weak and wimpy, and eventually we would die. For the plants, it's no different. We need to feed our plants. When I start each of my plants, whether I'm starting seeds or transplants, I always give it a wonderful granular fertilizer that will continue to slowly release and feed the plants throughout the season. But y'all, that's not enough. I also like to give my plants a liquid fertilizer. And typically that liquid fertilizer, I start giving it about a month after I start my plants, about a month. I should do it earlier, but it usually takes that long to get it all in the ground. But about a month after I get everything set up, then every 10 to 14 days, I am going to provide a liquid fertilizer. The liquid fertilizer that I am using is Fox Farm Grow Big. And the difference between granular and liquid, granular is going to feed it a little bit over time. Your liquid fertilizer is immediate release, immediate nutrition, immediate feeding for your plants. So every 10 to 14 days, I give my plants a little drink of a liquid fertilizer. At least I should give my plants a drink of a liquid fertilizer. And so that's what we're going to work on today. I have my seed starting journal here. And in the journal, there is a section toward the back of the journal where I like to put in the feeding schedule, when I fed last, and that kind of stuff. Y'all, I haven't used it yet this year because I haven't fed anything. But anyway, in here it says feeding schedule. It asks for the brand. So we're going to do Grow Big, and it's liquid. And today's date, like I said, is June 1st. And we are going to feed everything except maybe the flowers. I don't know if I have enough to go around to the flowers. Most of them were just put in a few days ago. So from a flower standpoint, we're going to skip over those and we're going to fertilize everything else. Every GreenStalk vertical planter, every raised bed, every pot, every container, unless it has a flower in it. We're going to fertilize everything, and including my potatoes, which I normally don't do, but we will feed them because I want to make sure with all of that rain that we've been having that nutrition hasn't been washed away. So we are going to feed everything. Whatever liquid fertilizer you decide to use, because there are many different ones out there, whichever one you decide to use, I like to say low numbers, anything less than a 10. So this has a, where is it? A 644 for N, P, and K. The N is your nitrogen. So that's going to be the greenery of your plants. Your P is like below ground. So any of your root crops can benefit from that. Your onions, your potatoes, your carrots, your beets, your turnips, that kind of stuff. And then the K, that last number is like, it's everything. It's going to help the plant in all aspects. So a 644 is what we're going with today. I always say, make sure that you follow the directions on your product. For Fox Farm Grow Big, y'all, for all of my 2-gallon containers, I put 2 capfuls in. For the 1-gallon container, I'm gonna put 1 capful in. But I'm gonna say again, follow the directions on your container, on your product. I've been doing it this way for so long, I know this is close enough. I had to go find a couple extra containers because the garden keeps growing and I spend more time filling up containers than I do giving it a nice drink. So I went and took all of the containers outside the house, and my mom's in there fussing like, bring my container back. So I'll make sure that I take that one back in the house for her. But all of the rest of them, I'm gonna leave them out here just to make this a little easier since I'm gonna be doing this every 2 weeks or so. So I got the fertilizer in, the liquid fertilizer in, and now I'm gonna fill up each of my containers when I turn it on. And then I'm gonna show you how I do this watering. I'll show you how much that I'll put in my GreenStalks. I'll give you an idea of how I sprinkle it into the raised beds, the in-ground beds, the containers. I'll kind of just show you everything that I'm doing. And with this being the longest part of the process of just filling the containers up, that's why, y'all, I gotta figure out how to do it faster. And y'all, I don't think the water's on. Well, you're definitely not gonna fill it up if the water's not on. Let me go check my water, because that should be full by now. Whew. Y'all, if I had a brain, yeah, I turned the water on here. I turned the water on at the splitter. I did everything but turn the main water on. Anyway, I said it's a long process, but it wasn't supposed to be that long. It was such a pretty day out here, y'all. It's so nice out here. I could just sit here and look at the garden. Beautiful. I've already had my garden snack. I've had my strawberries already this morning. I usually try to wait for the girls to get their strawberries, but I needed a snack this morning, so they won't get strawberries today. Now, before I started this process this morning, I turned on the drip irrigation, sprung a leak, patched the leak. It's from my original work that's been in place now for about 4 years, but sprung a leak, patched the leak. And I'm going to do that, double checking the drip irrigation because I haven't had to use it very much yet this year. And so I will be checking it often. I think I've only turned it on like 2 or 3 times this whole season. And so I'll be checking it often and make sure all of the patches are holding, that there's no new leaks, anything like that. But I did that this morning already. So I've already watered the garden. I watered the GreenStalks last night before I went in, and they're still looking really good. So no need to water them this morning. I watered them in deeply last night. And I like to water before I fertilize. All right, I got all of my containers full. Let's start over here in the fruit area since we're already in the area and I can talk through the process that I'm gonna use. So we're gonna start over here at this GreenStalk. The only GreenStalks that I'm leaving full, like with all 7 tiers, are my strawberry GreenStalks. If you can see, I'm pretty short. And so a 7-tier GreenStalk is taller than me by the time I put it on its paver and get it all leveled with the spinner and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just gonna water it from the top. I'm gonna put about half the container in here, and then I'm gonna walk away and come back and fill up the second half after I've had a chance to kind of run through. I do not want my fertilizer running out the bottom of my GreenStalk. So that's why I do about a gallon, let it do its thing, and come back and give it another gallon later. If you put it in too fast in your GreenStalks, if it doesn't have time to go through the whole dripping process, it's just gonna shoot it down and out the bottom, and we don't want that. So I put about a gallon in each, let it do its thing, and then we'll come back after I water other areas and give it another drink. And the 7 tiers absolutely need every bit 2 gallons of fertilizer or diluted fertilizer. Just remember, you can kill your plants with too much fertilizer, just like you can kill them without enough fertilizer or enough food. So let's keep that in mind. So all 3 of these are done. Let's move over to, I'm not watering this bed, y'all. I'm not watering it. I didn't plant that. I didn't want that to grow, but it's here. So it's going to have to fend for itself, and I'm going to save my fertilizer for the things that I did plant. So this is one of my fruit trees, and I typically don't water fruit trees either, but y'all, I got some strawberries down here. So we're going to give these strawberries a little drink. I really want my strawberries to flourish this year because I didn't buy any. And y'all, this is dead, but yeah, I'm watering it anyway. But I didn't buy any strawberries this year because I'm going to try to be self-sufficient and just use the runners to create new strawberry plants anywhere there's an empty pocket. And I've done that in several places already. Now back to this dead plant. I purchased this from Fast Growing Trees. It didn't make it through the winter, and I contacted them and I followed the process, and they're replacing the plant for me. So that's one of the reasons why I really do like Fast Growing Trees. Their trees are a little more expensive. I think they are, but the quality is great and the customer service is amazing. So this is a pink lemonade, was supposed to be a pink lemonade, and they've already shipped me one to replace this one. And this is a blueberry that I purchased from Costco. Just give it a little drink. I don't need to give it much. And so I'm going to spin you around and show you the other part of the fruit area that we need to get watered. So I keep working my way around. Only reason the flowers are getting fertilizer is because they just happen to be in there with my strawberries. Like that will not get watered. Skipping over all of the flowers here, and I'm going to head over to this pot here. I typically don't water seedlings if they haven't broke ground yet. If they've broke ground, then I will give them a liquid fertilizer. If they haven't come up yet, I won't water them because I might be wasting my time. There might not even be anything in there, but anything that has plants that are up, we'll give them a drink. Y'all, this is my favorite space now. Like right here, y'all, I just love this space. I just love the way it came out. I mean, I loved it so much, y'all. I went ahead and helped Mom with all of these flowers because it just really sets this space off. But anyway, let's get back to watering. I got my little bird bath over here. Woo, y'all, I am just tickled pink with this area. I mean, I just spend so much time out here versus the regular garden, or I'm in my little she shed behind me, but y'all, I love this area. Actually leave that open. Remind me it needs a drink. And y'all, I need to harvest. These huge tomatoes are gonna split wide open if I don't get them harvested sometime today. For my raised beds, usually, I mean like one container, let's see, how far does one container go? Well, this is what, a half a container? Maybe one container will take care of a couple of beds for me. And now it's time for us to fill it up and do it all over again. I'll bring you back if I have something earth-shattering I want to share with you. It would be nice if my girls were out here to keep filling the containers up so I wouldn't have to stop. So I wouldn't have to stop in between the process to do this step. But it's been so long since we've had good weather. They're just outside playing and enjoying themselves. One of the other things that I didn't talk about is I like to add my liquid fertilizer to my containers first. This way, as I'm filling it up with water, it's really mixing it in well. If I added the liquid fertilizer to the end and I don't give it a good mix, it might be too strong in areas, right? And if you don't mix it up. So I don't have to worry about mixing it in. If I put it in first and then I fill the container up like this, it's mixing everything right for me. Oh, my lettuce needs to be harvested. I mean, my cabbage, Napa cabbage. So I figured it out. It's about 2 beds per container. So I'm just walking my way on around here. This is the only in-ground bed I have, actually. And it is really in-ground. It is not raised in any way. This is an in-ground bed. And yes, I'm watering the flowers because they were in the hospital. For my in-ground beds, I seem to give, when I do water, I feel like I give it a little more water than I do my raised beds. I don't know, just seems like it. Onions are heavy feeders, so you definitely need to water those onion in. This GreenStalk right here is one of the ones that was telling me it's time to get some fertilizer in here. Some of the leaves were curling, some of them turned yellow. I mean, some of them look great, don't get me wrong, but it told me I needed to do something. Green beans are kind of like, your green beans are kind of like a nitrogen fixer. Your green beans puts nitrogen into the soil, where most of your plants are taking nitrogen out. Oh, thank you. I have a YouTube channel where I share the steps and everything. That's why you see the camera out there.
Oh, okay.
But the steps of how I grow and everything like that. Yeah. And then I do have a website that I am willing to teach, but my videos are free. So you go on YouTube and I'll show you how I fill up, where you can get the supplies from, all of that. So yeah, we grow our own food, all of it. Yeah, those are mustards over there. I got turnips over here. There's a little bit of everything. If you eat it, I probably grow it. Probably some things that you've never tried before that I'm probably growing. But yeah, I've been growing for about 15 years, but I got real serious about 5 years or so ago, a little bit before the pandemic. A little bit before, so that was what, 2020, so probably about 6 or 7 years. Now I'm 100%. I grow it, I preserve it, I talk about how to preserve it, how to store it, I talk about how to cook from scratch, and then just anything dealing with the garden. And hit me up in the comments, you can email me, all of my information's on there. And then if you want any of this, I usually have coupon codes so you can get it cheaper. So yeah, it's all there. Y'all, I just had a neighbor walking down the street, for their morning stroll. They stopped by and wanted to know if I teach classes on how to do this because they want to do it, but they don't know where to start. And so the key piece is start small. Start small. You don't have to have all of this. Start small. Start with one GreenStalk vertical planter, one bed, one teeny little fire ring. It could be a pot. Start with a pot and then work your way up. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be this big to grow your own food. But I just thought I'd let you know that since a neighbor stopped me. And y'all, we got tomatoes already, y'all. Tomatoes are on the plants. And they are green, they're healthy. They got blooms. Y'all look at these marigolds. It was just, a week ago, they looked horrible. I got them off the clearance rack from one of the big box stores, and oh my goodness, they have taken to the soil, and it's been super wet in this area here, so they are thriving, y'all. Just like these tomato plants behind it here. I mean, y'all, it's June and I got a tomato on this plant that's that big. Same thing, my Dr. Witchy's has a huge tomato on it as well. Tomatoes over there as well. Y'all, we might harvest tomatoes early this year. I mean, this might be the earliest year yet at harvesting tomatoes because I think the temperature has just been perfect. The amount of what I call that natural water, like rainwater, unless it's fully contaminated with smog is the best water, because all of the minerals and nutrition and all that kind of stuff's in there versus the city water that I have here that's treated with all kinds of chemicals, I'm sure. Rainwater is what I call the natural, is nature's best, if you want to say that, of watering your garden, and it's been getting plenty of it. I'm sure you've noticed I have to fill these containers up a lot, and I do mean a lot. So next time I water, I'll bring you with me and I will show you how to do large batches versus having to fill up individual little containers. You know, I could have done it this time, but y'all, I was lazy. And there's something in the container I need to use and too lazy to remove it. One of the other things that I want to mention is you should harvest before you put your fertilizer on. If you fertilize your plants, it's best to wait a day or two before you harvest, typically. But if you have to harvest, just make sure you wash your vegetables really, really good. Back here, this is my corn. It's not up yet, so I'm not gonna water. Oh, is it coming up? I think I see one or two. Yeah, it might be a weed, but I think the corn's trying to come up. But since it's not up, I'm not gonna water because that one piece that I see is probably a weed. I don't wanna get too excited just yet, but the corn should be, that is corn, y'all. The corn is coming up. It's coming up. All right, so it looks like there's only 3 or 4 that has broken the ground. So I'm still not gonna fertilize yet. But in the front of this bed, I do have onion, which of course needs to be watered, as well as Brussels sprouts. Oh, the corn's coming up. I get excited, y'all. The vegetables start coming in. I gave that potato bed 2 gallons all by itself because that thing is huge. Well, not quite 2 gallons because I did my box too. Now I'm going to have to figure out which trellising method or staking method I'm going to use on these yellow wax beans. GreenStalk has 2 different methods, and then I have one that I just use with little 2-foot stakes, but I got to decide if I even want to do that this year. I don't know if I need to do it. I've always done it, but that doesn't mean that it needed to be done. Have a drink. You have a drink too. While I'm fertilizing, it's like you get a little bit of a garden tour. You get to see how all my planters are doing as I'm walking around, and how this lettuce needs to desperately be picked. And everything needs to be watered, including my seedlings. My seedlings are not looking their best. They've been in their containers way too long. So we are also going to fertilize them as well. This is another planter that told me that I needed to get some fertilizer in here. The plants were kind of turning yellow. All right, y'all, that's the last spot that I need to fertilize today. I hope you learned something today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I showed you just at least my process of how I give a liquid fertilizer every couple of weeks or so when I do it the way that I know to do it. And if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Turn on notifications, tell your friends, tell your families. Anybody can garden, you can too. Until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you decide to hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me. Bye.